My parents always wanted a daughter, but instead they got two sons and couldn't have any more kids. 17 years ago, my brother had a son, and of course, our parents were happy for him. They gave them 10K for his college fund as a birthday gift. Then a year later, I had my daughter. My parents were thrilled. They gave us 30K for her college fund. My dad gave her an heirloom necklace that was supposed to go to the firstborn daughter, but my dad had no sisters, so he inherited it. They also gave my wife a diamond bracelet to thank her for giving them their first daughter. My brother was not happy about this, and he threw a lot of tantrums, saying it wasn't fair. Eventually, he chose to have no contact with all of us. My mom passed away 7 years ago, and my dad passed away last year. Then recently, my brother returned, saying that now that our parents are dead, he's willing to forgive me if I just apologize. Apologize for what? I didn't do anything. Whatever problem he had with our parents, he needed to come back sooner and solve it with them. I'm not going to apologize for something I haven't done. So I told him that, and he said, "Then I won't come back into your life." And I said, "Okay." I mean, did I miss him? Yeah, sure. Did I cry every day because I couldn't handle being away from him? No. As a matter of fact, I've learned to live without having him in my life. So for all I care, he can leave again. I told him so, and he called me a jerk. Oh, yes, you are the idiot. Sorry, but I don't believe you didn't enable your parents' favoritism. Why? Calling your brother's reaction tantrum over blatant favoritism indicates that you don't actually see anything wrong with your daughter receiving triple the amount of money to her college fund, plus a diamond bracelet to your wife, plus a family heirloom. Your brother actually did the bigger thing here. He decided not to let your parents' actions ruin your relationship. But what he needed from you, and fair enough, is an acknowledgement that your parents mistreated him and his children, and that you enabled that behavior by not pushing back on it. You owe your brother an apology. Your silence and acceptance of these gifts was tacit approval of your parents' poor behavior. Let me ask you, if it had been the other way, and your parents had given him a lot more for, say, having a boy or producing the first grandchild, you would have been completely fine? I'm going to slightly disagree, mainly because I don't think the OP should apologize for their parents being idiots. I can see the brother being upset about the lack of parity, but when you're given 10K for your kid's college fund, it seems wild for someone to go no contact with your immediate family because someone else received more. People can give whatever gifts they want to whoever they want. It's not all about the money. The difference between 10K and 30K is significant and should have never happened. Your parents were idiots, and you could have easily rectified the money situation as a token of love towards your brother and his child. You could have given them the 10K to show that you didn't support your parents' gender madness, but instead showed him exactly who you are. You are the idiot, and I'm assuming that in the will you got everything, and your brother got nothing. Grow up, OP. You killed this relationship with your brother, just as much as your parents did. Update. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to apologize for. Apologize for having a daughter? The money belongs to my daughter, and I'm not just giving it away. Oh, and my daughter's fine. She was treated like a princess, and therefore she has high confidence and knows her worth. But it never turned her into a bratty kid. My male 28, girlfriend 27, recently had a birthday. We had a small get-together at our apartment, but my girlfriend felt uncomfortable opening gifts in front of people because of the pressure, and all of our friends knew that. She opened them privately that evening. 2 days later, my parents' gift arrived. My parents are on the wealthy side and bought her a designer handbag she had been openly admiring the last time we visited. They had purchased the bag that weekend and had been saving it for her birthday. She said thank you before opening it and would let them know when she did. The box sat on our dresser for about 2 days before my parents sent a text, wondering if she had opened it yet. I asked her when she would open the gift, and she just shrugged and said soon. I was also really excited to see her open this gift, as I knew it was something she really wanted. A few more days passed. My parents checked in again about whether she had opened the gift. At this point, my girlfriend came to me and asked if I could tell my parents to back off, as she was feeling too much pressure around opening the gift, and I was making her not want to open it. I admit that I've never really understood this, and I told her I didn't understand why she just wouldn't open it. My parents weren't there, and all it would require is a thank you text to acknowledge it. To me, it was the exact same as our friends leaving the party before opening her gifts. She got really frustrated with me and said, "You just don't get how uncomfortable it makes me." About a week after the gift arrived, my parents texted me outside of our group chat and asked if she liked the bag. I told them she still had yet to open the gift. They asked me if they had made her uncomfortable, if they had overstepped in any way or something. They've gotten her gifts before that have never gone over like this. I truly did not understand why she wasn't opening it, and at this point, I thought it was borderline rude to not open it and acknowledge the gift. She went out with her friends yesterday and I opened the box for her, displaying the bag on the dresser, so the pressure of opening it was removed and we could just move on. I really thought I was doing her a favor and ending this awkward situation. When she got home and saw it, she was angry. She said she had guessed it was the bag she had wanted and felt awkward knowing it was an expensive gift and that she didn't feel comfortable opening it yet. I tried to explain that she was being a bit rude putting it off, but she said it was ruder of me to open it for her. We went to bed shortly after, and she was very short with me this morning. The bag is still sitting on the dresser where I left it. So, am I the idiot? You are the idiot, OP. You should not have opened it. You should simply explain to your parents that your girlfriend has gift opening anxiety and not to take it personally and to be patient. If your girlfriend expresses to you that the gift was too expensive, pass that on gently so they can adjust their gift giving next time. Can you imagine trying to explain to your parents, after they just spent thousands on a gift for your girlfriend, that she can't open it because she has gift giving anxiety? Not the idiot. Knowing your parents are wondering and waiting, and naturally expecting a thank you. For her to deprive everyone of that is weird, and so rude I can't even express it properly. Tell her if gifts make her that uncomfortable, she just made every birthday, anniversary, Groundhog Day that much easier, because forget it if she's way too high maintenance and weird. I was just thinking that needing a safe space to open a gift, delaying it for several days and complaining about pestering about the occasional message. OP's girlfriend was impolite, and if she's genuinely struggling this much, she needs help. Mental health issues do not give you a free pass to be rude. How utterly unbearable, living with someone who needs a safe space to open a gift. OP's girlfriend needs therapy, urgently. I, 23 female, recently found out I'm pregnant with my boyfriend, 25, Andrew's child. We've been dating for 3 years and our relationship is pretty good. We both want children eventually, though we plan to have them later after we're more established in our careers. The pregnancy came as a surprise, since we're pretty safe with intimacy. I guess we were just unlucky. Initially, we considered aborting or placing the baby for adoption, but decided to keep it. I graduated college last year and have a job that pays okay money, with the possibility of future promotions and raises. My boyfriend works as an electrician and makes good money, so we should be able to afford the baby with both of our incomes. A couple of days after we decided we were keeping our child, Andrew told me he wanted me to be a stay-at-home mom. He said that he believed that having a stay-at-home mom was better for the baby, that he was raised by a stay-at-home mom and loved it, and he wanted to give our child the same life. He said that he's been talking with his boss who agreed to give him a raise. He said that with that raise, plus occasional overtime, he could afford to pay our rent, bills, groceries, and costs for our baby. He also said that he would marry me so I could have extra security. I admit I burst out laughing when he suggested this. It's just insane to me. Sure, we might be able to afford me being a stay-at-home mom, but it would require budgeting every penny he made. I also just graduated. Does he really think I went to college for 4 years to be a stay-at-home mom and spend my days doing his laundry and cooking his meals? Also, what if he gets sick or dies? Also, I'm the first person in my entire family to earn a degree. My parents were immigrants and both had elementary school education. I'm very proud of my education and career. He knows this, as I've told him, so I'm surprised he would ever suggest this. I could tell he was upset and hurt by my reaction, but he accepted my decision without arguing. I was talking about this to one of my friends, and she told me that it was mean of me to laugh, that Andrew was offering to care for me, and my baby. And I responded by mocking him. I didn't mean it to come off that way. Just that his suggestion to me anyway was so insane and stupid that I couldn't help it. So am I the idiot? The fact that he would need overtime after the raise to make it work means it doesn't work. Even if you were a stay-at-home mom, don't ever rely exclusively on the words or promises of anyone else to provide for you. Plenty can attest to how that's left them vulnerable. Definitely not the idiot. He had this all planned out in respect to what he wanted. He wants you to be a stay-at-home mom. He wants the life he had growing up for his child, which isn't necessarily bad. He even spoke about it with his boss before speaking to you, the person who would be most affected by this. Then he'd work overtime, to which means more time out of the house from you and the baby, afford any luxuries or whatever. So more is put on you at home, in a position you don't want. If that's what you want, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home parent. I'd have probably laughed too if someone had come at me with this grand plan, and I was just expected to go along with it. If he thinks the baby will benefit from having a stay-at-home parent, he can stay home. You can both try it and do it for a year and see if either of you likes it. He can't decide this is what your future is without your input. To suggest that you surrender your power and be completely dependent on him and his goodwill is indeed ridiculous. I bought my house 15 years ago. It was a fixer-upper and needed a lot of work. The only thing I kept about the house was its bright pink paint. The guy I bought it from said it was his deceased father's house. He had painted it this way to make his neighbors angry. I decided I liked the color and kept it the way it was. When I married my wife a year later, she agreed. We now have 3 kids, a young teen boy, a tween girl, and a pre-tween girl. We're doing some minor renovations to the house and decided to touch up the paint, as it's been a while. My son asked that we paint it a normal color because it's embarrassing to live in a pink house. We declined and said we like the color. Ultimately, it's our house, and we'll be living in it longer than him. When we die, he's free to paint it what he wants. My mother-in-law feels we're being unfair and that we should consider how embarrassing it is for a teen boy to live in a Barbie house. We asked my son if he was being teased, and he said no, but he hates it. Our daughters like it. Are we wrong for not painting the house a normal color? Not the idiot. Your son is a young teen. The house could be painted by Samuel L. Jackson, and his peers would find a way to embarrass him for it. Hopefully he's not getting bullied too hard at school. Also, your mother-in-law should respect your decisions in parenting and about your house. I think your son will mature to understand that pink is not an embarrassing color. And honestly, your mother-in-law should too. Exactly. As a woman, I find boys and men who freak out about pink to be pathetic. And as a straight woman, I wouldn't be attracted to a man who refused to wear pink things for the basis of it being girly. It's fine if you don't think a pink shirt would look good on you, but it's another to proclaim no man should wear one. This is a good opportunity to try and dive into the history of colors and their associated meanings. As I recall, pink wasn't always considered feminine. I live in a pink house. The color was chosen by my husband's grandfather when the house was built. It's the only pink house in our area, and anytime someone asks where we live, we say the pink house on our street, and they all know the house. It's on a main road, so it sticks out in a sea of traditional colors. The story behind the house is, my husband's grandfather was known to be a very frugal man. When it came to picking a house color, he chose what was on sale, hence the pink. 60 years later, we've never spoken of changing it because we love the story. 3 generations have been raised in this house. There's something very special seeing the house unchanged over the years as the scenery around it has changed. The people who were raised there are now grown up with families, and now we're raising our son here. I love that his great-grandfather has pictures in front of this house, and now our son does too. I know it seems stupid. It's not so much about the towel as about how he made me feel like an idiot about it. I've been with my boyfriend Peter for almost 2 years. He has a twin daughter. So I bought this super plushy, super soft towel a few years back when visiting my family in Florida. This thing is huge, easily the size of a small throw blanket. And every day when I get home from work, I'll toss this towel in the dryer, take a shower, and wrap myself in it. It just feels nice. I don't know. I have 10 towels, but this is the only towel I use. And even though it might sound stupid to some people, I find a lot of comfort in this towel. My boyfriend knows this and has repeatedly joked about me having a comfort towel. He and his daughter have spent the last 2 weekends at my house. When I came home from work this past Saturday and got ready for my shower, I couldn't find my towel anywhere. I asked my boyfriend if he had seen it, and he told me that he let his daughter use it because she and her best friend were fighting and she needed comfort. I asked him where it was, and he said that his daughter was in the guest room wrapped up in it. It really rubbed me the wrong way. I don't even let him use my towel, so it's not like he didn't know I wouldn't be okay with it. She never brought my towel out of the guest room, and when they left the next day, when I went to retrieve it, there were stains all over it, like Cheeto stains and a blood stain. It's a white towel, so it's super noticeable. Well, I brought it up with my boyfriend over text. I said that I was extremely hurt, and I realized that he probably felt I was being irrational because it is just a towel. Still, he knows this is my favorite towel, and I was quite bothered by the stains on it, especially the blood. He texted me back and said, I mean, if you know you're being irrational, then don't you think you should just get over it? It's a towel. It's not like it's grandma's urn. I didn't respond. He continued to text me throughout the day, never once apologizing. He just kept telling me that I was being ridiculous over a towel. So I texted back and said that I don't think this is going to work out. Like I said, it's not about the towel per se. Still, the fact that he had just very little consideration for something he knows is important to me, as well as the fact that he didn't apologize. So it makes me question how he'll be in other situations. I tell him all of this, and he still seems to think it's about the towel and says I'm being overdramatic and that he dodged a bullet if I'm going to get that worked up over a $15 item. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Frankly, if he had just been clueless and then apologetic, that would be forgivable. But to give it to her because he knew it was emotionally important to you and then be combative about your confrontation over it is unforgivable. That's Darvo, deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender territory. If something is important to you, it's important. He knows it's important to you, and you don't like other people using your towel, not even him, your supposed partner. If it's just a $15 item, why hasn't he offered to find you a replacement? Sure, physically it's a small thing. Still, it's constituted a big part of your day. Not only the being comforted by it, but also the looking forward to being comforted by it. Why was he so cavalier with taking that away? Personally, I toss out the whole man too. My favorite part of this whole thing is that he makes fun of you for having comfort towels. Then when his daughter needs comfort, he gives her this towel. Like, I guess it isn't so funny when it's for his daughter. And I may be suspicious, but I think he did it on purpose. If he's not even allowed to use it, he knew darn well that his daughter shouldn't have used it. The inability to apologize when someone tells you you wronged them is an issue. OP, you did the right thing. Think of it this way. It only cost you $15 to find out he wasn't the one.